Hey, this is Jerry Williamson with Bishop's Flowers, and we are continuing our video series on getting ready for the 4th of July party. And actually, any kind of party that you want, these decorations will be a great decoration for you to be able to use. So last week we worked on showing you how to make ivy placemats. Now, one thing I did forget to tell you is that you can take those ivy placemats and make them a week or so ahead of time, and all you have to do once you're finished is put them in the refrigerator, and they'll last at least a week to 10 days ahead of time. So you can go ahead and get started and start making those early, and that way you don't have to worry about making them at the last minute. But this week, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on showing you how to make napkin rings. So we've just got some small little napkin rings here, and I'm going to show you how to use a floral adhesive glue that you can buy at Bishop's Flowers. Just come by here and we'll have some for you, and show you how to make a floral napkin ring out of some different fresh flowers. Now obviously you can use any type of fresh flowers that you want to use, but when you come by here, if you want to just tell us that you are making some floral napkin rings, we'll help you pick out the best type of flowers there are. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Now the first thing you want to do with this is called Oasis floral adhesive, and you want to go ahead and put just a small dab on each one of your ivy leaves. We have the ivy leaves turned upside down, and this is going to make a base for our napkin rings. And you want to let it sit for just a few minutes. It's really important to let this glue sit and get tacky before you start working with it. And that's probably the toughest part of learning about these, how to use this glue, is learning this time for this to set up. So let's go ahead and do all of them at once, and then just put your glue to the side. So what I actually did was I wrapped the napkin ring with a velvet ribbon, just kind of like the velvet ribbon that you get at Christmas time, and that's going to give the glue something to really grab onto. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started just placing the ivy leaves around the napkin ring. So by now they should be set up pretty good. So now what you want to do is you have your napkin ring completely covered with the ivy leaves. You want to go ahead and let it set up for a few minutes just so that your glue gets really good and tacky. Once you've done that, we're going to do the same thing now with these daisies that we did with the ivy leaves. We're going to go ahead and put some glue on every one of them. Once again, you want your glue to get tacky before you start working this. Now that we've let this sit for just a couple seconds is all it takes. Just go around and start placing your daisies in on the napkin ring ivy. Now what you want to do is make sure that you kind of leave a little bit of space so that you can put other flowers in there. So it doesn't have to be in any particular order, and you do have to make sure that you press it in really good, because if you don't, it's going to fall off like that one just did. But once it takes and dries, this stuff won't never let go. That's why you want to use this glue. Some people use other forms of glue. You could use a low temp hot glue gun, but you want to be careful with that, because sometimes certain types of glues will actually burn the flowers. So you want to be careful, and that's why this glue is specifically made for flowers. This is actually the glue that we use to make all of our corsages with. So you know that it's got to be pretty strong if it makes and holds all the corsages together. So now we're going to let that dry for just a few minutes, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut off these little spray roses that we'll put on there just for some color, and we'll cut off a few pieces of the stock that will also add some color to it. And it doesn't need to be any particular amount. Just make sure you put plenty of glue on there. And really press it down hard to make sure it gets a good contact. And now we'll go ahead and we'll cover the stock blooms with some glue. And once again, we'll start looking for the holes in here, and we'll just start placing the stock wherever those holes are. And there you go. We have a nice napkin ring. I'll show you how it looks on a napkin ring with the napkin and the placemat now. Okay, so here's our napkin ring again. We're going to take our napkin. We'll just pull right through here. And there you go. We have a nice floral napkin ring that goes with your placemat. That's it for this week. Next week we're going to make a centerpiece, and we're going to use a watermelon as the base. Make sure you show up for that.